High blood pressure, often called the silent killer, affects nearly 70% of people over the age of 60. And the most alarming part? It usually doesn't come with symptoms. You could feel perfectly fine while your blood vessels are quietly taking damage. Even more surprising is how some everyday foods, ones that seem perfectly healthy, can be the hidden culprits behind rising blood pressure. That's right, not all threats come with a salty chip or a fast food wrapper. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had a slice of whole wheat toast, a cup of cottage cheese, or a bowl of canned soup thinking you were doing your heart a favor? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 3 foods that are secretly spiking blood pressure in older adults. These foods are common, convenient, and often labeled as healthy, but the hidden sodium within could be silently impacting your heart. But don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll not only know what to watch out for, but you'll also have better alternatives that taste great and support your health. Because growing older should be about gaining wisdom, not hidden health risks. Whole wheat bread is often seen as a heart-smart staple. It's rich in fiber, vitamins, and complex carbohydrates. And while it does have real nutritional value, there's a catch most people miss: sodium. Many store-bought whole wheat breads are loaded with salt to enhance flavor and prolong shelf life. One slice alone can carry around 200 milligrams of sodium. That means your seemingly healthy sandwich, made with 2 slices and perhaps some cheese or condiments, can sneak in over 800 milligrams of salt in a single meal. For context, the American Heart Association recommends no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day for older adults. That sandwich could blow through more than half your daily limit, and you haven't even had dinner yet. Now, here's what happens inside your body. When sodium intake is high, your body retains water to dilute the excess salt. This extra fluid increases the volume of blood in your arteries, raising the pressure on your blood vessel walls. Over time, this causes wear and tear that leads to hypertension, stroke, and even heart failure. Take Mary, for example, a 68-year-old retired teacher who made a turkey sandwich on whole wheat every day. She thought she was eating clean, but her blood pressure kept creeping up. It wasn't until a visit to her doctor that the sodium content in her bread was identified as the sneaky saboteur. She made some changes. Instead of grabbing the usual loaf, she started checking labels carefully, choosing breads with less than 140 milligrams of sodium per slice. On weekends, she visited a local bakery that offered fresh, low-salt loaves. She even experimented with open-faced sandwiches and added potassium-rich foods like avocado, spinach, and tomatoes to her meals, which helped balance sodium in the body. In just a few weeks, her blood pressure began to stabilize, and she didn't have to sacrifice flavor or satisfaction. Cottage cheese has long been a favorite for older adults. It's soft, easy to digest, and packed with protein and calcium, great for preserving muscle mass and bone strength. But there's a hidden problem sitting beneath that creamy surface: sodium. A half cup of regular cottage cheese can contain up to 400 milligrams of sodium. Some brands even go higher. And because the texture is mild and the taste isn't obviously salty, most people don't suspect a thing. But sodium doesn't need to taste salty to cause harm. When you eat foods high in sodium, your kidneys respond by holding onto water to keep sodium levels in check. This increases blood volume, making your heart pump harder and your arteries expand, putting immense strain on your cardiovascular system over time. Meet John. He's 74, walks daily, and eats well, or so he thought. But his blood pressure remained elevated, even while on medication. It wasn't until a nutritionist reviewed his meals that the truth came out. His go-to snack of cottage cheese with crackers was quietly pushing his sodium intake over the edge. John didn't give up cottage cheese altogether. Instead, he searched for no-salt added versions, some with less than 100 milligrams per half cup. He also discovered a trick: rinsing cottage cheese under cold water with a fine mesh sieve. It sounded odd, but it helped remove excess salt while keeping the creamy texture. He even tried switching to plain Greek yogurt, which gave him the protein boost without the salt overload. The change was dramatic. Within a few weeks, his numbers improved. And best of all, he still enjoyed his mid-morning snack, this time without the hidden health cost. There's nothing more comforting than a warm bowl of soup, especially during the colder months. For many older adults, canned soup is a pantry staple. It's affordable, quick to prepare, and easy to store. But it also carries a dangerous secret: it's often packed with an alarming amount of sodium. One single can of soup can contain over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, and in some cases, up to 1,400. That's almost your entire daily limit in just one bowl. Even soups that carry labels like low sodium or healthy can still have 400 to 600 milligrams per serving, and many cans are labeled with 2 servings, even though most people eat the whole can in one sitting. Here's why this hits harder for older adults. As we age, our kidneys lose some efficiency. They can't process and eliminate sodium as quickly as they used to, making seniors more sensitive to salt's effects. The result? A quicker and more dangerous spike in blood pressure. Let's look at Barbara. She's 72, lives alone, and often turned to canned soups like chicken noodle or tomato for lunch and dinner. But over time, her blood pressure began rising steadily. After tracking her meals, her doctor realized the real issue: Barbara was getting more sodium from soup than anything else in her diet. Barbara didn't stop enjoying soup. Instead, she learned to read labels carefully, looking for options with under 140 milligrams of sodium per serving, and making sure the serving size actually reflected what she ate. She also began diluting soups with extra water and frozen vegetables, which not only lowered the sodium content, but boosted the nutrition. On weekends, she even started batch cooking her own soup at home using fresh ingredients and herbs for flavor instead of salt. Now, she freezes small containers of homemade lentil and vegetable soups, ready in minutes and tailored to her heart health needs. Canned soup can be a trap, but with awareness and a few kitchen tweaks, it can become a safe, nourishing comfort food once again. Cutting sodium doesn't mean cutting flavor, it means cooking smarter. Instead of reaching for the salt shaker, you can boost taste with herbs like rosemary, basil, oregano, or turmeric. A splash of lemon juice or a sprinkle of garlic powder can bring a dish to life without raising your blood pressure. When grocery shopping, look for labels that say low sodium or no salt added. These products are becoming more common as awareness grows, and they are not just bland substitutes anymore. Manufacturers are finding ways to enhance flavor without relying on salt. If you're choosing between canned and frozen vegetables, go for frozen whenever possible. They are just as nutritious as fresh ones and usually come without added salt or preservatives. And best of all, they cook quickly, making healthy meals even easier to prepare. And here's something most people overlook: adding more potassium-rich foods to your diet can actually help balance the effects of sodium. Bananas, sweet potatoes, leafy greens, beans, and even avocado are rich in potassium and work like a natural blood pressure shield. They help your body flush out excess sodium and relax blood vessel walls. With a little creativity and a dash of awareness, you can enjoy deeply flavorful meals that don't compromise your health. Let's take a moment to reflect. The 3 surprising foods that could be secretly raising your blood pressure are: whole wheat bread with hidden sodium in every slice, cottage cheese that tastes mild but is salt heavy, and can soups that can hold nearly an entire day's worth of sodium in a single bowl. But here's the empowering part. You now know what to look for. You know how to read a label, what swaps to make, and how to reclaim control over your heart health. Mary switched her bread and added potassium-rich foods. John rinsed his cottage cheese and found better alternatives. Barbara transformed her soup routine and took back her blood pressure. You can do the same. You're not too old, it's not too late, and every bite you choose is a step toward better health. So, here's your next move. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. If you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more science-backed tips that keep you strong, independent, and vibrant at every stage of life. Here at Golden Years Guru, we believe aging is not a decline, it's a mission. Let's make every year count.